I feel honored to join this august body on the occasion of the historic launch of the book entitled Millions Fed, Proven Success in Agricultural Development. This effort of presenting proven success in agricultural development that made positive impact over the last 50 years is a very timely and pertinent input to our global efforts against hunger and poverty. As we all know, the world is currently faced with the most pressing problem of feeding more than 1/6 of its total population. This is being exacerbated by the massive rise in food price being experienced since last year. At the moment, Africa shares a great majority of this burden. The other problems of unpredictable and extreme weather conditions and the overall climate change impacts are also problems that are hard to be judged. The problem will not stop here. It is predicted that by 2050, our planet will be the home of 9.1 billion people, and this requires us to grow 70% more food than the current rate. The problem is more severe in Africa due to a multitude of factors, such as poor economy, history of civil strife, natural resource degradation, to mention a few. Therefore, we Africans need to act quickly and learn from success that greatly contributed in terms of boosting agricultural production and productivity while also conserving and using the natural resource base. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the identified 20 proven success in agricultural development will be pertinent tools for tackling food insecurity and poverty in poor countries in general and Africa in particular. This will also complement our efforts of experience sharing and learning from each other. Similarly, the success are categorized in 6 areas, namely intensifying staple food production, integrating people and the environment, expanding the role of markets, diversifying out of major cereals, reforming economy-wide policies, and improving food quality and human nutrition are key strategies that any progressive African country would prioritize or to a great extent to increase agricultural production. May not be the forum, nor would I be the appropriate person to review successful African experience that complement these 6 priority areas. But allow me to say a few things about our experience in Ethiopia along this time. Our country, Ethiopia, has been among those African countries severely affected by recurrent droughts and subjected to food insecurity for many years. Through our agricultural development-led industrialization and food security strategies, we have been able to consistently increase agricultural production for 6 years in a row. We have identified proven technologies and are scaling them up across relevant environments in the country. Our motto has been to produce beyond household food sufficiency level, and many farmers are now producing for market. To strengthen the technology transfer process, we have trained thousands of agricultural extension personnel that have been posted at peasant association level and are serving the farming community in technology dissemination and implementation. Crop diversification beyond those traditionally produced and also focusing on those in high demand in world markets have also been the approach followed. Conducive policies have also been formulated to encourage private investment. One example that we can mention here is that we have recently identified a sizable land of about 1.6 million hectares that's not currently being developed for private agricultural investment. The country is also working towards livestock, poultry, and dairy products production improvement at grassroots level. The eradication of vendor pest from the country is one of major successes that we accomplished in recent years. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of creating incentives for farmers, we have embarked upon rural land certification to ensure land use rights and care for the land. We hope to complement this process in the very near future in order to address food insecure farmers' households and lift them out of poverty. the government, assisted by some donors, has been implementing the food security strategy in 290 wordas of the country for about 5 years. Through the Productive Safety Net program, millions of farmers are being assisted to ensure household food security, build household assets, and engage in community-led development activities. Where land degradation has reached an advanced stage, farmers have been voluntarily settled in better areas and assisted with the interventions which we have. The overall impact has been very positive, as thousands of farmers are becoming food self-sufficient and are able to build assets. Among the community-owned activities, the community-based participatory watershed development approach, which is being implemented through community engagement and mobilization, has become very successful in rehabilitating degraded valleys and turning them into productive assets. In fact, this country-based land rehabilitation approach has become so exemplary that many African countries are in the process of adopting it. The KSNP was also recently evaluated by international consultants sponsored by the World Bank, and their conclusion is that the development model was replicating in other parts of the other world with similar development problems. The Ethiopian government is also giving attention to irrigation activities, and many areas, particularly those in moisture-deficit areas, are being addressed. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the above-mentioned strategies and interventions aimed at increasing agricultural production may not be peculiar to Ethiopia, as many African countries have designed more or less similar approaches to tackle food security and poverty. What's limiting us, as a whole, is lack of funds to take them to big scale. It is true that NEPA, through its comprehensive Africa Agricultural Development Program, Addis, requires African countries to allocate a minimum of 10% of their GDP for agricultural development, and not many countries have been able to reach that level, mainly due to capacity limitations. On the other hand, Ethiopia, although it is not better than most of these countries in terms of economy, has prioritized agriculture as its #1 agenda and has allocated budget that exceeds the level put by NEPA for its agricultural sector development. Even then, the magnitude of the problem is not something that can be handled by one country's effort alone. And a more coordinated approach by all stakeholders is needed to make a real difference across Africa and make under history. We hope the publication of this book on proven and successful technologies will enhance our joint efforts of implementing this and other technologies on a larger scale. I also hope this is just the beginning, and many more success stories will be published for end users within the coming few years. Finally, allow me to thank the Melinda Gates Foundation for sponsoring the study, the International Food Policy Research Institute, and the authors of the book for accomplishing the noble task of identifying the successful technologies. I would like to inform this August Assembly that Ethiopia will do all its best to adopt the technologies and practices reflected in the book that value added to our efforts of increasing agricultural production and productivity. With these remarks, I hereby declare the millions-page proven success in agricultural development the official launch. I thank you.